Good morning. We're doing some technical things, but to keep your eyes interested, we have, you probably saw her in the lobby, a random act of art. And so we're going to have her come up here, chat a little bit about what she does and what we're looking at. Alicia Langang, join us.
Okay, so first of all, I hate public speaking, so I apologize for the shakiness in my voice. Like she said, my name is Alicia. I'm a local watercolor artist. I grew up in a small town here in North Dakota where beyond 6th grade there was no art program. So art was never really something that I thought I could do or even thought I could be good at. I went to college at BSC. And the only art class I took was pottery because it was the easy class. So fast forward a few years later, after becoming a surgical tech, having kids, and starting my own daycare, David, my husband, and I bought Cardin Custom Framing, your local framing and art supply store. This is where I started to learn more about how creative I could be. And 2 years ago, David encouraged me to paint and bought me my first art kit, And these have been 2 life-changing years. This is where I fell in love with watercolors, and I never thought painting would be a part of my life like this. And I just love it, and I'm enjoying it so much. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Thank you, everybody, for the support.
Let me tell you, I appreciate a woman who needs some notes. I lose my everything if I don't have a notebook in front of me. Is this on? Almost there. Okay, you want me to wait? All right. Just rip for a second. Don't tell me that. Hey, what's anything interesting happening in Bismarck today? What do we got? Okay. Oh yeah, she's gonna talk.
Following the random act of art, I'm Ria Beto with our North Dakota Council on the Arts, and this is the season where all of our grants, or most of them right now, are open, and so you can apply for funds to help with you with your art project. Remember, arts are not just visual, they're also performing arts like theater and music and band. They're also folk arts like storytelling and basket weaving and sculptors, fashion designers, graphic designers. It's pretty much a very creative world. So if you can think of your biggest dream, passion, what you're into, this is something that we can help you fund. We have grants for education to bring artists into the classroom, and then we also have programs where we give monies to the education facilities as well to have their own programs. There's community grants that go to do projects within the community, whether you want to hold a workshop or have a booth at one of the fairs. There's apprenticeship programs where you can pass on your mastery skills to someone else and get $4,000 to do that, whether it's, again, basket weaving or making spearfish decoys. We talked about established artists can have $5,000 for their big program that they're working on. And then there's professional development. If you want to take some classes to learn more about something that you're very much interested in, you don't have to pay for that. Ask for a grant. And then there's special projects. Anything you can possibly think of, whether it's murals on the side of the wall somewhere, just take a look at our grants and make use of those funds. So thank you for your time.
See, this is what connecting the dots. Today we're talking about dots and connecting them. Evan's got something. I know, look at that. Quick thinking.
I can do this without a slide too. And I don't know if you want to mime anything with this or not, but please do. That was really, really fun. I've got a slide for this too, but it's the Mandan Business Pitch Challenge, the finals. Oh, there we go. Coming up 2 weeks from tonight are the finals. They're down to 4 teams, Bubbles and Brews, Cornhole Cave, Saf Power, and the So Connection. This is at Baymont Inn and Suites. Again, March 23rd, 2 weeks from now. I went to this finals last year, and it was really very interesting. These finalists give a pitch. It's really cool. hey, we're up to the random act of art. It's really, if you're trying to support the entrepreneurial community around here, this is a great way to do it, to come and kind of listen to what these folks have to say. They work really hard on these pitches. They've actually worked pretty hard just to get to the point where they're a finalist. So anyway, registration is required, but it is free. cityofmandan.com/register.
Wonderful. Look at that. Arts and commerce. It's the 1 million cup sandwich for you, except we have coffee. I don't know. Is this good? Yeah? Can I click the button? Oh, okay. Again, this is not me. We met Alicia, and this was her art. So it's in the lobby too, so make sure you go check that out after all of this. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. Very well trained. I love it. My name is Kayla. I will be your MC today, and somehow I got some flowers and then some green dot. I got all of us together. All right. We have to thank our sponsors for being our sponsors. So the organizer team, we do a pretty good job with all the bells and whistles, but if we really want to scratch that itch, we need a little bit extra help, and these guys help us do it. So thank you, sponsors. Thank you very much. Next. What is 1 Million Cups? First of all, anybody here who has never been before? We won't shame you or anything, we just want to see your hand. Oh, I see a couple hands, yay. Hopefully you grabbed a mug on your way in. So we come together every Wednesday. It is a free weekly meetup, and we just want to give the community an opportunity to see what our, business leaders are doing, what our entrepreneurs, what our change makers are doing. How are we gonna do that? We're going to drink a lot of coffee, and we're going to change the face of our startup community via that. And that's how it works. Okay, the cool part is this is interactive. As you saw, people just jump up and they tell us their cool things going on. So we want that to happen all day long. So you can use hashtag #OneMCND, and then we'll also have a mic runner, this giant mug. After our presentation, you can kind of ask them questions, and we'll just start a little dialogue. It'll be fun. Okay, community announcements. We've had a couple start up, but if you have a community announcement, and I know we have quite a few, you can make your way down here. There's a little mic there. Put that in your paw and tell us about what's going on. Okay, who's first? Da, 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 da. Whee!
I got skipped last week, so I'm super excited.
Here, do you want to grab that one? This one's sweaty.
Oh, nice. This one will be too, because I'm 4 shots in of espresso.
Love it.
So I'm Catherine Spellman, and I am with the Young Professionals Network here in Bismarck, Mandan. We have a larger event coming up here at the end of the month. I get to point Evan out because Evan was our speaker last year, one of our 4. And so if you guys are interested in coming and joining Young Professionals Network, just find me in the back after this. I can tell you a little bit more. If not, I also just saw David. David is our one speaker right here. I know he will not like me pointing him out, but I'll do so anyways. So yeah, that's us. And then also we have something called Stepping Up coming in a couple weeks here, where we go and integrate ourselves into the high school classes within Mandan High School, Legacy, Century, and BHS. And if you're interested in doing any of that for about 50-minute stint, let me know as well.
Yay.
All right, I am Mandy B. Anderson with Rama Team, and I want you to all take out your phones for a moment and zoom in on that little QR code there, and that will that is awesome. Look at a reason to use the laser.
I've been waiting.
I'm so glad I could.
Is either going to bring a
fulfill that
cat
dream.
here, or is going to
Yes.
something, yeah.
So right in there is going to give you all of the details about the leadership training workshops that are available for you to come to our office. This one is Communication Styles 101. It's happening next Wednesday, March 16th. We have a lunch and learn at the Idea Center, or if you can't make that time and you still want to participate, you could choose the virtual workshop on Zoom for that evening. And then if we can go to the next slide. Oh, it got
Okay.
missed.
We
There's
already
another
know-
one coming up in April
We know all
as
about
well.
this.
Yes, there we go. The other one that we have coming up in April is conflict resolution for teams. Both of these workshops will help you build your communication and conflict resolution skills. And if you cannot come to either one and you still want the content somehow, send me a message and we can connect about bringing it to your team.
want to just invite everybody to the first annual Women's Wellness Expo that I'm hosting in Mandan at the Harvest Catering, March 26th from 9 to 3. And we are going to have amazing vendors, practitioners, speakers. Okay, we have a QR code this week so that you can grab your tickets. They're only $12, and you get a drink ticket with that. Plus, you get to see all the amazing speakers and events that are going on, plus all the vendors for that. So it's really an awesome deal. So we have everything from 15-minute massages to body talk to Reiki to emotion codes to moving, auricular therapy, and so much more. So grab your tickets. There's also even a 5-pack of tickets for $50, so super affordable. I want my goal for this event is just to share these amazing gems with the community. There's so many different people that are local, and there's not a lot of people. They're kind of like hidden gems in our area. And so that is my goal with this event. And if you want to meet some of them, come on out and the Girls' Day and join us.
Do we have anyone for this one? Look, there's a QR code. These came back because I was really into them for a while and they disappeared and now they're back. I just think they're fun. All right, we got a lot of entrepreneurs in here, so check out this topic at the balancing. I just go for it. I'm just gonna go for it. Oh look, another QR code. I'm gonna guess the QR code is more informative than I am, but we've got this social media scheduling for organic growth. It's an in-person lunch session. I like that all of these events incorporate some kind of food. It is next Tuesday. On there. Thanks. Jumped on it. I was just gonna say, is there anymore? It's beautiful. You guys can tell me if the back is just as gorgeous as the front. But all of our art is appreciated as such. So check out those grants. You see? Okay, good. I don't know how to talk about this one. QR code.
All right, I think this is on. Before I jump into the introduction to yoga, I want to put my city commission hat on from Mandan and thank Evan for talking about the Business Pitch Challenge. It's a very important part of our community, and we're really proud to have so many startup businesses in Mandan. And we're constantly looking for new resources and new ways to put those tools to your use. So come over to Mandan and start your business up. Now, for what I'm really here for, my name is Joe Camisa. I am with Bismarck State College, the Department of Continuing Education and Train ND. And while this is not one of my programs, I had offered our catalog manager, who handles all our open enrollment, to talk about her introduction to yoga class. They're going to be doing a multi-week, 1 day a week. I believe it's on Mondays. I think March 14th is Monday, if I looked at my calendar correct. They're going to be holding an introduction to yoga. You look at me, this is not a yoga body. If I try doing a pose, you'll probably have to call Metro to take me to the hospital. So if you're interested in learning just some basic elements of yoga, hit the QR code. I've been doing it for a couple weeks. I've been seeing the codes, so I thought I better embed that. Yeah. Otherwise, you can go to the website and look up yoga, and class number is 30304 to register. And then you can hit the next slide. Hey, there we go. And then the other element we have is our catalog. So again, this is not a yoga body, so I promise you professional development. That's more my specialty at the college. And we do open enrollment, we have for enrichment. We also have a program called Poly for those that are 55 and over. There is an organization called the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute, where you can can join. I think it's $30 a year, and as we're partway into the year, we're discounting that membership. So you can go to the website here. So that's an example of what our homepage looks like on the laptop. You go to that middle, there's a middle button and a right button. The right button will take you to our catalog, or you can just use the QR code. We have about 20, 30 pages worth of different classes you can enroll into, everything from cooking to learning how to use computers to history lectures. So check that out. Thank you.
Thank you. Chock full of announcements today. Techie people, what does QR stand for in QR code? Okay, well, Google that and then come back to me. Okay, now we're ready. I was also going to try and do some miming yoga poses, but I didn't think it was the right time for a downward dog. There's a time and a place. This might not be it. Okay, so today we're going to talk about something a little bit different from some of our entrepreneurial type of stuff, but it's all about a big new idea. So you're probably thinking, what is Green Dot? And that is the exact question that they want you to be asking. Just to let you know, there's going to be some kind of sensitive material kind of discussed. So if anybody feels like you maybe need a moment, you can feel free to step out and everything. So with us today, we have Erin and Linda. Again, someone who needs to hold paper and then needs to more hands. Or just one. We don't have to exaggerate. First, we have Erin. Erin Tangen is coordinator of the BisMan Green Dot since January 2021. She lives in Bismarck with her fiance James, sons Karsten, 18, and Connor, 8, and daughter Jada, 19. She became a Green Dot coordinator in order to follow her passion to help eliminate violence in our communities. Erin loves Green Dot because of how easily we can incorporate violence prevention in our everyday lives, taking a simple yet effective approach to keep our community members safe, and it's something everyone can do. She's right, we can. Then we have Linda. Linda Striebel and her husband, Bob, have been married for 23 years and have 3 children. Ben, 21, Caitlin, 19, and Maren, 15. Linda became a volunteer with BisMan Green Dot in 2019 when it was first introduced to Bismarck Mandan. Violence prevention and supporting those hurt by sexual assault, domestic violence, stalking, and child abuse is something that is near and dear to her heart. She loves that this community program shows how each and every one of us can do simple things to reduce the number of people being hurt by power-based violence, and by working together, we can make Bismarck Mandan safer. That's very true. All right, so please welcome Erin and Linda.
It's really making me go far away.
Oh, wait. You need that. That's your power.
I feel bad we don't have a QR code. Good morning. As I said, I'm Erin, and this is Linda. And the great thing about this is Kayla didn't mention, but Kayla is actually a trainer with BisMan Green Dot. So thank her for that. Completely volunteer. And so has anyone out here heard of Green Dot? Oh, look at that, a couple. Okay, great. Here we are, that's us again. BisMan Green Dot, that's us again. I'm Erin, that's Linda.
So the problem is one in about 4 or 5 women will experience attempted or completed sexual assault in their lifetime. 1 in 10 rape reports are made by men, and up to 1 in 3 relationships have some aspect of abuse in them. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 13 men experience stalking. So most of us know someone who has been affected by these types of abuse, or ourselves have been affected.
So the solution for that is Green Dot. And I know probably in your mind you're picturing this floating Green Dot just going around and saving lives. Well, that's not exactly it. But with Green Dot, we want to have the permanent reduction in power-based violence, including but not limited to. So the topics that we touch on are sexual assault, dating or domestic violence, stalking, and child abuse.
So to, I guess, demonstrate part of this, it's red dots will be the problem, right? I want you to imagine Bismarck Mandan as you go about your daily routine. So your coffee shop, as you're driving to work, the building you're in, some of the walking dots would be any sort of violence that would happen, whether it be you're maybe at the zoo and or grocery store and you see maybe you're out for coffee and you hear a couple, one person is berating another. Maybe you hear from one of your coworkers complaining or mentioning that another coworker is sending them unwanted texts. So that's another red dot. Or you're leaving your favorite restaurant and you notice a couple guys like physically fighting. That's another red dot. And I want to share like this map thing. When we did our training, it was an in-person training, right? And 5 days in person, 8 to 5. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? Like I am not someone who can sit still that long. But you'll hear more about what we needed to do to become trainers, which you don't have to do. Yours is much shorter, but it was interactive, fun, and it never felt like it was that long. But at one point, they showed us this image, right? And with scattered with dots on it. And I was immediately brought back to a time previous to that when I was actually in Bismarck Detective's office, who showed me a map, Northwest Bismarck, scattered with dots. And the reason I was there is 3 weeks prior to that, my husband was gone hunting because it's pheasant season, so you got to do that. And so my children were home alone. Ben was 11, I think Katie was 9, and Martin was 5. We just finished watching a movie, getting to bed, and it's about 10:30, 11, and I'm laying there looking out my bedroom doorway, and in the hallway I see flashes of light, and I'm thinking, well, that's kind of weird. So I keep watching, and the next minute there's a figure standing in my doorway. And my first thought is my husband's back, so I call out his name, and nothing. So then I call out my son's name and go to sit up in bed, and this figure takes a step backwards. And then I'm thinking, holy crap, like this is really happening. And like I get out of bed and go to the threshold of the door and can't move. Like that saying frozen in fear, it's a real thing. Cannot move, so I go back to my phone, and this is back when we had home lines and a corded phone. So I'm dialing 911 on the corded phone. I don't know if my children are okay. I don't know if this person is still in the house and what's going on. So 911, or the Metro gets there, police, everything, and they check the whole house, and they can't find him. Now, the blessing in all this is my husband slept through it. My son was still like lights are going on. They're checking closets. They slept right through it. And thought I was the coolest mom ever because I woke them at midnight for a sleepover at my neighbor's. So, but anyway, so I get a call 3 weeks later, and it's this detective saying, we got the guy. And so I'm like, how? And he had a tracking bracelet on, and he'd been twice convicted sexual assault. So they found him, and the mask was and just going all over and starting different houses. So that kind of got me interested in this and realizing this doesn't happen to anybody.
That is crazy. When I first saw the story, I was like, that was you? That was in the paper. Like, oh my goodness. So picture that, where this one individual had been, all of the red dots that were spread up all over Bismarck Manor because of this one person. So this is where the green dot is. So now I want you to picture that map, right? With all of the red dots all over. And the green dots are what are either going to replace the red dots, or we're going to fill in the empty spots with red dots rather than just fill up the whole thing. It's a pretty simple idea. But so we want the green dots to just show you about it. These are the choices that we are going to make to promote safety and tolerance of violence. So we have 13 really good jobs. And right now everybody's like, oh gosh, I don't have this. I don't have, this is going to take so much time and we're going to have to do all this stuff. No, it's really simple. So you don't have to go state people for burning buildings. You don't have to go and put up a state and save everybody. Simply ask, approaching somebody that may be in if something is happening. You can tell a manager, or if something's happening outside, set off your car alarm. We just want things, we're not asking you to call at home, and teach them how not to provide good communication in that moment.
So to do this, there are the 3 Ds. And there's always something you can do when you see a concerning behavior, something that is within your comfort zone. We've broken down, they've been broken down into what's called the 3 Ds: direct, delegate, and distract.
So direct, you obviously can see what type of person I might be. I might be a little bit more direct than some. But that's when you're going to do something yourself. So you've made that choice. So you're going to check in, hey, I'm worried about you. Is everything okay? Or like when Linda said that you see somebody, kind of being a little bit rougher with a child than they need to be, you just kind of come over and you're like, oh, you mind if I give them a piece of candy? Anything that you can stop in that moment. Ask, do you need help? Or just read upon somebody, you just need to back off.
I'm not the direct person. Surprise. But my husband tells me I'm pretty good at delegating. So I would be someone who would go up to maybe the manager at Target and say, something's going on here. I don't know, but just keep an eye on that. You could talk to a trusted family member or a friend of the person that you're concerned about. Even, if it's coworkers, talk to the boss. And the beauty of these 3 Ds is I don't need to know the whole story, but it doesn't hurt anyone to get an extra set of eyes on that situation. It doesn't hurt anyone to say, is everything okay? Do you need help?
And I want you to keep in mind while we're doing this, this isn't something where we're going to try to change your personality. We're not going to take, a Linda and turn them into an Erin. That just isn't going to happen. So that's the beautiful part about this is we take your personalities into consideration. And we're giving tools, even for the biggest introvert you can imagine. They still have tools in their toolbox now to help. Distract, play one, don't get involved. Accidentally, purpose, spill a drink. When you're walking by, or something's getting at you, at a bar or something, you're gonna walk by and say, and of course I do this so often.
program stresses the importance of community-wide support for violence prevention, and it employs strategies that support bars, restaurants, bankers, volunteers, small businesses, individuals, organizations, just all across the spectrum, and it moves beyond working with our usual allies of crisis and domestic violence programs, right? It includes everybody. Our goal is to get all of the Bismarck-Mandan residents trained and involved. So there's a whole fidelity to this program, and it begins with getting Bismarck-Mandan influencers trained in the program. And we sent out a survey kind of asking residents who they trust, who do they distrust, who do they know and we were able to train them. The next step was we decided to focus on bars and restaurants and get them trained. Well, hello, COVID. So,
And no workforce. So they have to do one thing.
Yeah.
Our turnover's like 2 days. So
we were able to do that next step, and we're still working with getting some more of the Bismarck-Mandan restaurants and bars trained. Which brings us now to this step. This summer we had our launch, we did supporters, the Larks, we have a great relationship with them, and we were able to be at some of those events, and we hope to continue that. So we are getting the support of the community. Now this next step is where we get the word out about Green Dot and to trained and continue this movement that we can all be involved in Bismarck-Mandan.
And so you can imagine, we're trying to get all of Bismarck-Mandan to this training. So any help that you guys can do, a little bit on the Larks. You guys all need to go to our Facebook We're not asking you to go through do things that you've never done in your years. Really, and when I say challenging, some of that is like houses, and I'm but I will tell you, the 90-minute thing goes so fast. And by the time we're done, people are so excited and they love it. The 3-hour, it might seem like, 90 minutes, 3 hours, it's just a lot more practice, a lot more, teaching the skills that we're giving you. 5-hour, it's just doing a whole HR day, and you want to get everybody trained, or whatever. If you just want to get some of your friends trained, care about it so much, and do the 5-hour in-person training, it's fantastic. And the greatest part, it's free. No. It's weird to say, but it's a really fun training. Get your brains going, and then you just realize, like, oh my goodness, look at all the stuff that we could be doing.
So why do Erin and I love Green Dot? It's easy, doable. You don't need a degree in violence prevention or criminal justice to do these things. It's something everyone can do, even within your own personal barriers, your personality traits. And it doesn't matter if you're shy, introverted, afraid, gosh, what my friends say if I do this. There's still something you can do to help. It does not take a lot of time. We feel everyone deserves to feel safe and to be safe. And these small little actions make big change. You may just diffuse one small little thing at the grocery store, but there is an impact and a ripple effect to that. And the more people we get trained, the more support you're going to have from other people who are also out and about. And the less likely that people doing the harm are going to continue that because they know that that's not tolerated and not accepted. We do have these green dot stickers that maybe you'll see at some of the restaurants and bars that are being placed in the windows. And one that notifies people who are in harmful situations that they'll be safe there. Someone's looking out for them. But it also maybe deters some of those actions from taking place at all.
And not only that, our goal is, if you look downtown, there are businesses and restaurants that do have these window clings. And it just, I mean, what a great feeling that our community is coming together on something like this. So this is where you come in. Help us get the word out. Connect us to Group to Train. Like and share our Facebook page. BisMan Green Dot, Instagram. If you go to our Instagram page and like it, or our Facebook page, you just get a green dot. That's something that's helping out the community. You have now linked your people to our information. Email us names and contact information of groups that we can train. Like I said, business, social events, sporting events. What a great way to have, maybe your intramural basketball team come in and do a training. Email is, yeah, look at that. And it's even green. Green
Look
dot.
at the green dot.
So email us, bismangreendot@gmail.com. Send us a message on Facebook, Instagram, however, send carrier pigeon, whatever. Just get to us. And join us. There's so many ways that you can be involved. You can be a presenter like Miss Kayla. She does the 90-minute overviews with us. We do have committees if you like to be more behind the scenes, logistics and planning, evaluating how our program is working and who we're reaching, social marketing, action events, and or just our relationship building committee. So there are lots of ways to get involved.
So the commitment here is to reduce the number of people being hurt by violence. Really can happen. Our communities really can become safer. And if every one of us does 1, 2, 7 green dots, pretty soon our maps will be, our images will be more green than red, which is what we want.
So nobody has to do everything, but everyone has to do something. And that's how we are.
Dawn is our mic runner. She's got a big old mug. It's great. We have the direct evaluate, and I will certainly the draft.
Oh, perfect. You represent all of it.
Yeah, so we can put that down a set of phrase numbers.
I was thinking of the whole other.
Well, it was 7th grade, so but after the screen, I was like, please, this draft.
Yes, we do.
Hit it. All right. Evan's got one right away, right up in the front. Who is?
I'm just curious a little bit about the origins of Green Dot. Is there some central authority that created and provided guidance?
Yeah, so the group is called Altruistic, and they are the ones that set up the parameters of this program. So Linda touched on it a little bit, but in order to even start, we had to identify the people that were in business. I know there were some out here at one point that I was still trying to get a hold of. If you're here today, you're lucky. But they identified the influencers, and we had to train them first. So the idea was that when the community members start to learn about it, then we have these people that are on the path. And so, yeah, they have done so much research and all that program, which is why it's so successful. When did the original?
I don't know.
It's been a while. We'll have to look.
The early 2000s.
Yeah.
But they are very precise in their fidelity. There are things we have to follow and can do, and right away we were so excited. We were just going to go and study more about it. Well, no, there's a process.
Yep.
And it's, like I said, for us to even train others, it's 40 hours of education that we have to go through before that is even done. And then ongoing, we're constantly having monthly meetings with them.
At the launch eagle flying.
Are you distracting?
I was supposed to be working in this.
Distraction.
Yeah, very patriotic. So when I first was kind of told about this, it is such. More of like the training is how do we go about changing the
started talking like she knew me, and I was like, oh crap, I must know this person. And I forgot them, so I was like playing along, trying to figure out, she's telling me about her job and her kids, and I was like, how do I know her? And then like a couple of minutes into her, running and jogging with me, she was like, oh, you don't know me, but I noticed that guy was bugging you and he was right behind you, and I just felt like I couldn't leave you, so I waited till he like turned off. And that stuck with me in such a significant way because A, I'm so awkward that I didn't say I don't know you, and I just went along with it. But instead of feeling uncomfortable like I have in so many, running as a woman alone, even during the day, people stop you and try to talk to you, and it's not comfortable. And instead of feeling unsafe and uncomfortable, I was like, wow, the stranger had my back. And I wonder if maybe a Green Dot program might have been where because I don't even know if I would have thought in that moment in her shoes. I probably would have noticed and felt bad for the woman. In the future, next time I see someone getting bothered, and I wonder if she might have learned it from Green Dot or if she just had like kick-ass instincts with how to handle it. So is that something that you guys have taught? Is that
That is definitely something
it's
whether
so
or not
cool.
it's Green Dot, but that's exactly what we're talking about. That's exactly the type of things. That's why we're saying they're little. If you see somebody just walk up and be like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you forever, and you've never met the person before, that's actually in our training to do that. So yeah, that's exactly what a Green Dot is. And it was simple, and just like you said, my mind didn't go there. I don't know that I would have done that. And that's all we're trying to do is just take these little tips and tricks and put them in your toolbox so that when you are out and about, you're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna set my car alarm off, So that's exactly a Green Dot. Whether she learned it from us or not, but those are the types of things that we do equip you with through our training.
I think that's what the good part of the training is they work really well with, here's a scenario, what are 3 things you could do, here's a scenario. So you kind of, you don't have to like think on the fly, you have a little tool.
Yes, yeah. It's already thinking that way. Rather than I had to.
Yeah, I have a comment people. So you generally are not scared of people when you're coming from a small town, so to come to a big city and come to college and whatever. But after 3 years, I was working at a place, and they had you park in a back alley, like in a parking lot. And I left there one evening, it was completely black, and a guy with a black ski mask popped out on me. And it really changed my life. I was terrified. I didn't have anything except keys and pictures. But it did change my life. And it changed my mindset. I survived. But this guy was stalking me outside the building, and the police came and they never found him. And so I they're going to go into a situation where they're going to be walking in the dark. And so my question is, I think that anything can happen. If it happened to me, it can happen to my very own kids. And so do you have different training programs for different levels of kids? And I think that, training those college kids to not walk alone at night and to prepare themselves that anything can happen. Because, it's something that, obviously happened to me. And so I was wondering if you catered this to
They are currently, your experience, right? Same with Linda. So as far as they're looking at doing elementary school for the Green Dot program. I'm not sure if they've started actually them yet, but it is something that they're looking into. But we do have a high school one, we do have a college one, and then like I said, we do the community one. So
this is by standard, so it's not training for an individual so much to keep themselves safe, but how other people can help you be safe. So you might be asking about a different program or a different focus.
But this would also be, like, if we went and did a staff meeting where you were working, you never would have go outside by yourself in the alley when it was dark. you can see the same things are happening to men. They just are not spoken out about because, it's whatever the case is, it's not as broadcast as much as for women, but it's happening for both. But that's where we're trying to get. We're trying to get to a point where you're absolutely right, where you're not walking around in your college student by yourself, where you're at a place of employment where, they've done the training and they realize, this is unsafe. We should not be doing this. If we can't provide 2 people to walk outside or whatever the case may be. But we're trying to get it so we're actively changing the mindset before you're walking outside and you don't come out by yourself. If that makes sense.
And I think a big part of this isn't, we don't want people to feel like they should live in fear, but at the beginning, it is very, you ask a series of questions and you have clickers, or if we're online, it's anonymous, and you ask how many people have themselves experienced some kind of power-based violence. And people know someone, and dang near all the time, it's a pretty high percentage, and that's just the reality. But I think what's
we just want to get where, one, the people doing the power-based violence realize, I can't do this in Bismarck, Mandan. People are going to get in my, it's going to get noticed. And either people are going to get in my face, or a manager's going to come, and then it'll start to realize, you're going to kind of squish out the red dot behavior, because people doing it are going to realize it's not okay. At some point, the kids that we allow this, why are we allowing this to happen?
for a final question, but how will we know when we can do this? How will we know when nice work, So just acknowledging that from each other when we're doing good things and these things are happening. And I mean, we'll know because we, keep track of all the training and statistics and things like that, which we will share all the time. But people feel it. I definitely think it's
it's very nice to hear that you can shift your attitude and be better for the community. So our last question is the one we ask every week. What can the BisMan Green Dot
join us. Please go on our Facebook page, go on our Instagram, like it, share posts, and do the training. You will be pleasantly surprised how fast and just the information that you're going to get, and just how much you're just going to be like, hey, I can do this.
Empowered.
Yeah. So support us. Get the word out.
Yeah.
Tell 2-3 people that you heard about Green Dot today, and there's your Green Dots.
Excellent. All right, that's our show. Yay! Oh, there we go. I lost my clicker. These are not our upcoming speakers. Oh, thank you. So just stay tuned to our Facebook, and we'll let you know. But we do have this cool disco show going on behind me. All right. But if you know of anybody who would like to come on stage and tell us about what they're up to, apply to present online. 1 million cups, blah, blah. And thank you. That's all. All right, go do a Green Dot.
Yay!